Yo, 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 what is going on, man? Jeremiah Black Development Network. We are getting an episode in. Unfortunately, Tim could not be with us tonight. He's under the weather, which is unfortunate. And we will be back next Friday. We'll be back next Friday, hopefully. This whole house has been under the weather, actually. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment. We're going to still get into it. We're going to talk about Monique, man. She's been the story of last week as well. Her and Netflix and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish and DL Hughley. I mean, it's been going crazy. So, but there's a couple points that I do want to point out. But I want to start from the top and then I'm going to work my way down to the bottom. I did get to see her interview on Shay Shay Club. Shout out to Shannon Sharp. So, I'm glad he has the space in which people can come on his platform and actually talk and have a great conversation. That was a 3 hour interview, so she absolutely is a talker. So I do want to start at the top where all this commotion kind of funnels from. So earlier in, I believe it was 2017, Netflix and Monique were working on possibly doing a special, and they were in aggressive talks to do a stand up. And Netflix originally offered her, I believe, $500,000, and Monique was like, "Oh no, that's not enough money." And they also, what I also looked up and researched, that they also was going to have, Netflix was going to have rights to the audio, all that stuff when it comes to her content. And she was like, hell no, that's not going to happen. Not only do I want more money, but I also want, control over my rights and copyrights and things of that nature. There was also a rumor that, I don't know if it was true or not. Monique did not really confirm as well. Well, yes, she did. She said that they wanted her to try out, and if she made the tryout, which I don't know what a comedy tryout is, they wanted her to try out. If she would have passed the tryout, there was a $3 million incentive behind that. But it was mostly just a rumor. Some of it was confirmed to be kind of true, but some of it Netflix came out and said that was false. Fast forward to 2022, they basically settled, and Monique won her settlement, and but it was disclosed, so we don't know exactly how much Monique made off of the settlement or what she made off the back end, but she does get her special. I got to see the special. It was average to me. I didn't spend much time laughing at it. I'm not saying that it was horrible, but it wasn't the best. Okay. I'm the type of person that likes to see the special. I like to see the product that you put out and things like that. And I do think that because Monique won, she also calmed down a lot of naysayers. I got to see Charlemagne kind of back off his stance as well. He owed Monique an apology. He backed off. A lot of people came out in support of Monique. So, I mean, she won her settlement, right? But here's my point, and let me say this. I will say that $500,000 for Monique, I don't care who you are, but for Monique specifically, was lowball. I believe that the $3 million should have been her incentive. $3 million to me is enough for an hour special for someone of her pedigree. I believe that she was owed $3 million. That's just my opinion. The points that I did not agree with her was that she kept using Dave Chappelle and she kept using Amy Schumer during her negotiations or her talking points. Now, as much as I'm not a fan of Amy Schumer's content as well or comedic style, Amy Schumer during that specific time sold out Madison Square Garden. Doesn't matter if you like her, she did it. She sold out Madison Square Garden, in which propelled her to go and renegotiate her contract. And I think she ended up getting like $13 million out of that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. During that time span, Monique had not shown that she was able to sell out an arena. Okay. I don't know how high she wanted it to go, but I said 3 million was enough. Actually, I think I went up as high as 5 million, if I'm not mistaken, when we talked about this on the podcast. Um, and it is what it is, man. She got her money. I don't really care, but that was my thing. And then Dave Chappelle on the other end was, man, they were begging Dave Chappelle to come back. I mean, Dave Chappelle has launched, I mean, a full on, in my opinion, full on just back and forth with like the LGBTQ, and so much so that they went on a strike against Netflix as well. And I mean, Netflix said, we don't care what y'all do. y'all can set this building on fire. We stand behind Dave. We stand behind his comedy. And they've been backing Dave ever since. So since that moment of Dave coming back, he hasn't wavered. He hasn't lost anything. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like, Monique, those are not good talking points for yourself. Now, it is very well known. I hate that we keep making it sound like Monique is the only one who's talked about women's suffrage when it comes to pay, women's suffrage. I mean, every black woman in the industry has stepped forward and talked about this. Viola Davis, plenty of just other big celebrity women as well. Like, we've seen this conversation. I think Regina Hall has even had this conversation before. This is even before Taraji. This is even before Taraji started breaking down crying and things like that. Black women specifically, have always talked about the pay disparity, right? So I kind of hate that we even throw Taraji and Monique at the forefront of these conversations, because these women were not the first women to talk about it. And it is very much real. We see it. We see it now. We see that it is real. And I do think that because she won her case, she has merit to talk about that. I don't care. You don't have to like Monique. You don't have to like anything about her. But she does have talking points when it comes to that. Now, I'm going to talk about some of the characters that she kind of brought up, and I'm going to start with Kevin Hart. During the conversation, she talked about how she was calling around and trying to get people to talk to Tyler Perry about what was going on between her, Tyler Perry, and Oprah. Real quick synopsis on that. I think this was actually Precious, if I'm not mistaken. They wanted Monique to do a press run. Monique wanted to get paid for that. And Monique said, hey, I want to get paid for this press run that I'm going to do. I'm going to go everywhere. I need to get paid for that. They said no payment. Monique says she's not going to do it, which is crazy, because even with no press run, Precious ended up winning an Oscar, if I'm not mistaken. So that was amazing as well. And Monique did a great job in that movie as well. So she's definitely deserving of that. But she seems to be getting a lot of backlash because of what she did during that time span, if I'm not mistaken. And if I want to make a quick note, if I do make some type of mistake, you can absolutely put it in the comment section. I am not above learning. This is stuff that I've researched. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Put it in the comment section, your thoughts, and let me know, what you think about these situations. But back to it. Long story short, she got in touch with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart tried to get in touch with Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry then goes, he doesn't want to bring it up. Kevin Hart then hits back. Monique tells her that she's hit him back, and he says, hey, I want to move on from it. I want to actually help you. So I'm going to put my name up in whatever you're doing. I want to co-produce it, and let's get it done. Okay. And in that same breath, Monique was very ecstatic. She ended up calling, I guess it's called Endemol. I don't know if they're like a producing company or something like that. I think she said she was trying to get her talk show back. And long story short, a couple months, I think, went by, and Kevin Hart's agent got in touch with Endemol and said that Kevin Hart is basically backing out, and he's taking his name off of that. He doesn't want anything to do with Monique and vice versa, which is cool. Monique then hears this news from Endemol. Monique calls Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart says it's a miscommunication, and then they don't speak for 2 years. That's the full summary of that story. Um, I mean, bro, I'm gonna be real with you. I think that was fucked up. I think that was fucked up what Kevin Hart did, especially the fact that you pretty much put yourself out there, bro. Like you made yourself available. You didn't have to go that far, in my opinion. She just told you to speak to them, and and if you wanted to help her, you have all these different movies coming out. Just give her a part. That's how I see it. Just give her a part in that movie. Go into discussions. Go into how much money she's gonna make. Give her a part. One of my favorite movies with Monique in it is Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. And I think she's super funny. She reminds me of like the funny aunt, the aggressive aunt. We loved her on The Parkers. There's plenty of times where she's just been like, the more upbeat mom and stuff like that. You know what I also thought would have been amazing for her? I thought it would have been amazing for her to be in a Madea movie. Her going up against Madea, I thought that would have been fucking funny. I just thought it would have been fucking funny, especially with how aggressive Monique is as well. But long story short, I just think that Kevin Hart did her wrong. I don't care how people see it. Kevin Hart absolutely did her wrong, and he should have at least. I think he could have done more. Right, I do think that he could have helped, even if they were trying to get their talk show back and stuff like that. Hey man, I don't want to put my name as co-producer. Why don't you come over here and let me give you some money? Let me put some money in your pocket. She also talked about a situation where he did kind of front her some money, and his family did pay him back. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it as well. But yeah, man, I don't know about that one. Kevin Hart could have done better. Now, the Tiffany Haddish one is kind of weird. I'm gonna also talk about in this conversation. There's this weird obsession with Monique's husband. Okay, can someone in the comment section tell me what's going on and why people hate this man? Like, what is he doing that's that they feel like is hurting Monique? I think that is cool. Now, there is a part of me that says, man, sometimes family can fuck you up when it comes to deals, comes to business. Usually they tell you to keep your family out of your business, but I see a lot of family businesses out here. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know if it's that type of thing where he's being manipulative or he's manipulating his wife or something like that. And maybe he is, a thumb or a sore, in the side of some people. But the other way that I see it is, man, I'm going to be honest with you. These industry, they'll talk to some of these male agents that they've created a friendship with. But when it comes to just a man who's protecting his wife or protecting someone near him, they don't want to talk to that man because they can't manipulate the woman, man. The industry loves talking to women. And I know this is going to sound fucked up, but the industry loves talking to women. And the reason why they love talking to women is because they know they can manipulate them or they can manipulate their pockets. There was part of the interview where Monique talked about being on the Parkers and how, I don't know if people know this, but, usually when you make it to a certain season, that's when that's when a lot of the recoupment comes in, the residuals come in. So nowadays it's more like season 3 because most TV shows don't make it past season 2. So season 3, season 5, she talked about season 5 of Parkers is where they receive residuals and stuff like that. She also shared a lot of information, man. I didn't know that the Parkers made $800 million. So that was very interesting to hear because I didn't know that the Parkers was that lucrative. Most of those black 90s to early 2000s shows, it didn't take much money to make those shows, bro. They didn't spend an asinine amount of money. So $800 million is an exorbitant amount of money. But back to Tiffany Haddish real quick. Apparently in either GQ or one of these magazines, Monique came up and Tiffany Haddish posted or said in the interview that I don't some to the effects of referring to her husband and saying I don't do business and I don't have a husband like Monique's or anything like that. And I guess Monique took that to heart as well, which I mean anybody probably would have took that to heart. So you bringing up their significant other, and again, like I just think this industry has this weird fetish over this man, and I really want to know. Like, I wish I could talk to Tyler Perry. Like, hey man, why do y'all hate this man? What is he doing? Like, what is he saying? What is he doing that's really, getting under y'all skin? Because I don't see a problem with a husband speaking up for their wife. But long story short, and then Monique obviously clapped back with, if you had a husband like mine, you wouldn't have multiple DUIs, which she does. You wouldn't be getting yourself into these grooming situations with Ari Spears that we saw. And hey man, she has a lot of merit to that. There's a lot of merit to the fact that, hey man, bro, you've been getting yourself into a lot of bullshit. And maybe you need a man to calm you down because, I don't understand how she keeps getting herself into all these DUIs and stuff like that. And granted, she is I think both DUIs, she's been caught on the side of the street sleeping or something like that in the car. Which is even crazier. Like you tap on the window, and it's fucking Tiffany Haddish. That's crazy. And especially if it's in the middle of LA, that's like the most LA shit I've ever heard of in my life. But I digress, man. If Tiffany Haddish was saying something crazy about her husband, you don't have the room to talk. I do agree with that as well. Monique going up against D.L. Hughley. Long story short, man, D.L. Hughley, she went on D.L. Hughley's show, and they do play. I've listened to D.L. Hughley's show on the radio a couple of times as well, and they do play this "Would You Rather" type of conversation. D.L. Hughley says that they both talked. Monique said that they both talked. Monique says that D.L. Hughley was dismissive. D.L. Hughley says he was not dismissive, and he took the segment out. I don't know if I seen someone say that she had a cease and desist on that episode or something like that, and that she doesn't consent to it being out. But I have no idea. I have not seen that. If you have the link to that, let me know. But long story short, they were playing Would You Rather, and the Would You Rather is wild. They asked her, would you rather your husband have sexual relations with a condom with Lee Daniels or get head for Corinne Steffens? If y'all don't know who Corinne Steffens is, look her up, okay? That's all I got to say about that. You know who Corinne Steffens is, look her up. Now, Monique is she's a comedian, but I don't think I would have said this to Monique. I wouldn't have said this to anybody. Maybe like Theo Vaughn or something like that. I don't know. But I don't see this type of content with Monique, especially in an older age. I don't think that that's cool. I don't know what that was about. So she contacted D.L. Hughley. Either way, the segment didn't play and everything like that. I know they had some type of beef a couple of years ago when D.L. Hughley and her were both booked to be headliners, and D.L. Hughley posted his contract. I think that Monique posted her contract or whatever she was showed or whatever the case may be. Personally, I think the promoter fucked that up, and then I also think that Monique also was trying to use that moment to kind of promote her Netflix special, or trying to not promote it, but being a headliner as a comedian is such a big deal to them. And the reason why is because, being the closer is a very important job. We've seen Bernie Mac do it very, very well. We've seen Kevin Hart do it a couple of times, Dave Chappelle. And I think that she was trying to use this for her Netflix deal. That was just my opinion. But yeah, shit. So I didn't like how DL approached it as well, but I don't like how Monique is approaching it either, because Monique did bring up his daughter, who was sexually assaulted when she was younger, and DL Hughley was trying to use that moment to kind of bring light to the fact that, hey, some men or some women go unbelieved for a very long time, and he was trying to make up for a mistake that he made when he was younger, and to his friend and things like that, which I thought was admirable to bring that up. And I don't think Monique was using that in the greatest light. So, a lot of people are talking about it. Well, D.L. Hughley did all this and stuff. And it's like D.L. Hughley was trying to amend something or bring something to the attention of men, which I thought was very admirable. I thought it sucked that he did that, absolutely, for his friend or something like that. But at the end of the day, too, I thought DL was trying to have an honesty moment. It's not something that it's not something that I think that was supposed to make women or make himself look good. It was just something he was bringing attention to and acknowledging. And Monique misused that whole thing, and I think that was fucked up. I do think that was fucked up. My overall issue with Monique in this situation isn't the fact that she's been blackballed. She's been blackballed. Let's be real here. Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, all of them are blackballing her. I think her and Lee Daniels have reconnected. I know she was in a movie during the holidays. I believe that was Will Packer who put her in a movie and things like that. It's not the fact that's not my problem. I understand that. It is the fact of the matter that this conversation has gone on so long, but she doesn't really put any content behind it where we can go and make sure that we're supporting her, right? Like, tell us about your new Netflix specials. Tell us about, I know she said she's going on tour with Kat, but we need to have something that we can get behind you and make sure that we directly pay you. If you're going to get on these, if you're going to go on these interviews, something needs to come behind it. That's my biggest thing. I don't have a problem with anybody supporting anything Monique did, because I went and watched her special. I didn't watch the Christmas thing. I think I was just busy. I didn't get a chance to watch it. Might watch it next Christmas if it's back on. But long story short, I didn't. She doesn't put anything. She doesn't put any content out there that we can go and we can just support, come out, pour into her so that she feels that we're there, things like that. If you're just here to cause like chaos and stuff, because let's be real, let's have a harsh truth here. Tyler Perry, Oprah, none of them ain't losing shit. They're not losing their $1 billion status. They're not. We're gonna still support their businesses and stuff like that. Kevin Hart, Lift was a terrible movie, and I watched it because it was Kevin Hart, and people are gonna still watch your shit because it's Kevin Hart. Okay, he also has a special coming out soon as well. I seen him announce that. So these guys are not. You're not doing anything. We're at a stationary position in the community where nothing is happening. So it's like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like we want to help you. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I feel about it. That I've seen a lot of people also online comparing her situation to Cat Williams, because which I think she's going on tour. I think I already said that, but she's going on tour with Cat Williams. I did see her announce that. That's dope. And also shout out to Kat. But I'm going to bring Kat up in this situation because y'all keep using Kat's interview in order to talk about Monique's interview. And what Kat was talking about was the overall picture versus like Monique's issues, okay? Cat Williams mostly wasn't talking about just himself. He was talking about how an industry is not just blackballing people, but they're gatekeeping people out and not pulling people up and helping people. If you're going to be a gatekeeper, you need to be helping people. And that's what Cat Williams' issue was. And if you don't understand what he was saying, when Cat Williams' interview was over, you should have went and go and look at some of the comedians that spoke up for Cat Williams. There was even Jacquees, which is so random to me. Jacquees talked about how Cat Williams gave him money for doing a performance. All these comedians talked about how they called Cat Williams up and he gave them opportunities and things like that. Also, the difference between Cat Williams and Monique is Cat Williams makes his own opportunities. Cat Williams pays for his own specials, bro. Cat Williams brings his own specials up. Okay? It's not he doesn't necessarily need the industry. The industry just uses him from time to time, like his show with Atlanta, which was amazing. I think he's also in another movie as well. But that's something that Cat Williams knows how to do. And what I would say with Monique is, if you get all that money, and you do get money, you need to put that money up in the projects to help yourself out. Get some people around you that's gonna booster you up. That's gonna help you, man. Like that's what because I do want to support Monique. Get your own shit. Okay, they don't want you in the color purple. Go make your own move. First of all, we're tired of seeing the fucking color purple. We're tired of seeing that trauma ass shit. So go get something else. Go find something that you can write a good script on and you can play the lead. Oprah can't take that from you. You know what I'm saying? Oprah can't take stuff from you. You're giving them more energy than that is necessary. I'm not telling you to necessarily move on. I'm telling you to move up. I'm telling you to go and start creating shit for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I could be speaking out of turn, man, but I don't see her making as many moves as someone like Cat Williams has been doing his whole career. You know what I'm saying? Even when they took stuff away from him, Cat Williams was also putting money and stock into his own stuff. And he was making his own money off of it. You feel what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion on the whole Monique situation. All love to Monique, man. I do think that she has some great points. I do think that she does represent women in this effect, but I also think that she could do a better job of promoting herself and putting herself in position to actually win. And that's just how I see it. So shout out to Monique. Next topic is pretty simple too, man. It was the Grammys. I think SZA won. Taylor Swift, oddly enough, won. But this segment is projected towards Killer Mike, man, because I'm from Atlanta. So shout out to Killer Mike. Swept the Grammys, 3 Grammys, which is crazy. I love it. Real Rap won, okay, for the first time in a long time. Okay, maybe they are making up for Kendrick. You know what I mean? But there was a couple things that came out of the Grammys that I did not like. Number one, Jay-Z's speech was amazing, and it proved the point to what we think about Taylor Swift. I'm gonna be honest with you, big dog. I couldn't name multiple Taylor Swift songs, and I'm not using that as a point, but I didn't see her album really being promoted that much. Me personally, I know they're Swifties. I don't know if the Swifties even love this album because 22, they were playing that. I remember that album. They were playing that backwards and forwards. I didn't really see that much about this album. So to Jay-Z's point, you know what I mean? We have Beyonce. We have some of the best catalogs that Beyonce has put out, and the best content that Beyonce has put out. Like, her impact is crazy. It's crazy that she doesn't have an album of the year. That's like one of the only rewards she doesn't have. So I thought that was pretty crazy. But I'm gonna get back to Killer Mike real quick. The internet erupted when Killer Mike swept the Grammys, and mostly they were talking about, I believe, best rap album, which I think also included Drake's For the Dogs. It included Travis Scott's Utopia. It included Nas's album as well. And let me be clear here. There was only 2 rap albums in that category. Y'all can get mad at me if you want, but there was only 2 rap albums in that category. I'm tired of people confusing Travis Scott for being a rapper. He's pop, okay? At this point in Drake's career, he's pop, in my opinion. Is he rapping? Sure. It's pop music. He's making trendy music so that he can stream well and get the accolades and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see Drake. It is pop music. There was only two, and that was Killer Mike's Michael, and that was Nas. Okay. Outside of that, King Disease 3. Outside of that, there were no more rap albums in that category. So the second thing that came out of it was when people started saying who is Michael, and this is why I love and hate TikTok, because these moments right here really show you who's an actual hip hop fan, rap fan, versus somebody who is just a casual in it. And you find somebody that you like and you listen to them and you stream them all day, right? Killer Mike has songs on Madden. That's how much he's in the culture. He's been on South Park. Okay. Killer Mike has I don't know if he was in the Def Jam game. I don't think he was in the Def Jam game, but Killer Mike has been here for a long time. Has songs with Jay-Z, has songs with Outkast. Killer Mike's been here. He's been here. Okay, he's been a staple in the rap industry. You know what I mean? And to my other point, just because y'all equate album sales and stream sales to best, and that's not true at all whatsoever. That means nothing when it comes to best quality, something that is quality. First of all, we've been saying for the longest that most of these albums, these stream numbers, they're not even fucking real. They're pumped up. It's not to say Drake or Travis Scott pumped their numbers up. I'm just specifically saying that they are skewed numbers anyway. So you can't even go off of that if you're talking about a Grammy. If you're talking about getting a Grammy, it has to be the best quality. Michael was the best quality. I'm sorry, bro. The other thing was, I mean, people talking about some Name 5 Michael songs and all this stuff just being utterly disrespectful. But I think the more disrespectful one was Kai Cenat, to me personally. You can't go on your stream and go, oh, salute positivity. First of all, that's bullshit. You can't say positivity to a guy and then go, who the fuck chose this man? That's not positivity. Okay? It's not positivity. I'm sorry. The other points that I seen was it was stolen and all this stuff. Man, you can't steal 3 categories. I'm sorry, you can't do that. It's impossible. I don't understand what y'all are talking about. And we should love seeing this from the Grammys, that they're representing everyone, bro, not just mainstream, dog. Like, that's what I love about it, was the fact that last year, I think it was last year, Robert Glasper won for I think it was R&B album or something like that. And everybody went, who's Robert Glasper? Not realizing Robert Glasper wrote for some of your favorites. Okay, someone like me who actually loves the music, I go to Apple Music, Spotify, I start typing in names. I want to hear it, because apparently his peers think that his album was better than some of the mainstream albums. Okay, John Baptiste, great album. And you know what I mean? You find out historically this man is meant for music, man. It's almost like God blessed this man for music. Plays multiple instruments, amazing production. I mean, come on, bro. Like, it doesn't make sense, you know what I mean, for us to just put, if mainstream won all day, every day, Beyonce would have 3,000 Grammys. Taylor Swift would have 3,000 Grammys. You get what I'm saying? And that's just how I see it. Like, let's be fucking for real here. If these guys, if we just worried about mainstream, none of your underdogs would get, album of the year or anything like that. So we gotta be conscious about that, man. We gotta be really conscious about how we represent our favorites in the Grammy and the conversations and stuff. So but yeah, man. But that's it for me, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you guys Friday, man. Peace.